To help us understand some of the legal issues surrounding this investigation, we bring in Robert Mintz, a former federal prosecutor, now with the firm McCarter and English. Thanks for coming on, Robert.
Thanks for having me.
So besides what has been revealed since the raid, what do we not know about what federal prosecutors are looking into in connection with Giuliani at this point?
Well, there's really a lot that we don't know because, remember, this search warrant on its face does not give details of what prosecutors are looking at. It only shows that there is evidence of a crime that may be located at a particular location, in this case, Mr. Giuliani's home and his office, and it says specifically what criminal violations may be evidenced there. So in other words, it will show the criminal statute. In this case, likely a violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act, which requires an individual who is working on behalf of a foreign government to register if they're going to lobby in the United States on behalf of that foreign entity.
Well, it's certainly unusual for the FBI to raid the home and office of a lawyer. I was actually having flashbacks of when this happened to Michael Cohen, former advisor and lawyer to the former President Trump. Why would prosecutors go this route? And does it give us any clues about the nature of the seriousness of the investigation? Because we saw how things turned out for Michael Cohen after a similar raid took place for him.
This is a very serious turn in this investigation because a search warrant in and of itself is the most aggressive, the most intrusive weapon that prosecutors have to go after evidence. And then to do it to an attorney is doubly problematic because of the attorney-client privilege issues that are involved in that. So it tells us that this is a serious investigation, that it's moving very quickly. And it also tells us that for whatever reason, prosecutors were concerned that if they did not go in there and seize this evidence physically themselves, that they were worried that somehow the evidence might not be there when they needed it.
Well, as you know, Giuliani is firing back, no surprise, claiming that the raid, which was approved by a federal judge, by the way, was illegal and unconstitutional. Do you agree?
Well, we don't really know. And frankly, neither does Mr. Giuliani, because in order to get that search warrant, an affidavit had to be presented to the federal judge, which laid out the probable cause that a crime was committed and that evidence of that crime was located at his house and his office. That's something that Mr. Giuliani has not seen, his lawyers haven't seen, and frankly, they will never see unless criminal charges are brought. And then at that time, that evidence is turned over to his lawyers and they can move to suppress the evidence if they believe there was a violation. But we just can't tell at this point because we don't know the basis that federal prosecutors used in order to obtain that warrant.
All right. So as an attorney, I'm going to ask you this. Let's say you were representing Giuliani. As you know, he sat down for an interview on Fox News, no surprise, while he's under investigation. Do you think that was a good idea? Would you have supported him if he were your client?
Well, it's not unusual in these times, as you know, for individuals to try to play out their case in the court of public opinion, as opposed to waiting until they get their day in court. But generally, it's not a great idea because everything that's said during that interview can ultimately be used against him in some later prosecution. So you can be sure the prosecutors were listening very carefully to what he said and are going to try to trip him up somewhere down the road if they have evidence that contradicts what he said during the interview.
Well, he's always been needless to say, Giuliani has always been an interesting one to watch, listen to, and see what happens. Robert Mintz, I know you'll be watching as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.